Welcome, Your Excellency, Distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We're glad to have you. Your host, the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mbah.
The MC addressing Tinubu as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Isn't he aware that he likes to say, "Hey, I'm your president, you gave me the mandate, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, he was in Enugu yesterday to commission many projects built by the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mbah, like this command and control center, where they control all the cameras they mounted around the Enugu metropolis. This is very commendable. Every major city is supposed to have this in Nigeria. With this, it can be guaranteed that the police will deploy to any crime scene at least under 5 minutes, like it's obtainable abroad. And with this, police wouldn't have any reason anymore to be mounting roadblocks along major roads in the city. The reason policemen always clash with the civilian population is because they are always where they are not supposed to be. They are not supposed to be handling civil matters. They are only supposed to be handling criminal matters. And if they focus on criminal matters, that means a law-abiding citizen might not have any interaction with the police for several years. That's how it's supposed to be. When they mount these roadblocks, they always stereotype young Nigerians. There's no particular way they determine who will be stopped. Their headquarters never radios them to say, this vehicle, we are looking for it. Watch out for this plate number so that you stop the vehicle along the road. They just look at the car, look at the driver, look at the passengers. This one has dreadlocks. This one's hair is dyed. A lot of things. He's wearing jean. He looks as if he just came from abroad. Let's search him. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. So when the police are motivated by personal gains, material things they can obtain from civilian population, then they can never focus on insecurity. They can never focus on criminal activities. So like already said, this is very commendable, and this kind of infrastructure is already operational in Lagos. In the FCT, under Goodluck Jonathan, they awarded a contract that was supposed to cover the entire FCT with cameras with a massive control center. But it doesn't seem as if that contract went further. In some other states, they have this. Every state in Nigeria, every mega metropolis should have this, so as to curtail crime, so as to ensure that police concentrate on their main job, which is fighting crime. If they are monitoring many streets, major highways in their control center, they can be able to see the crime in operation, the time it broke, the time it started. They can now plan a deployment, a massive deployment that will not only be timely, but also commensurate to what they are seeing. If they are seeing that there are up to 5 criminals attacking people or trying to strike a bank, for instance, they already see the kind of equipment or arms they came with. They can deploy in a commensurate manner in order to tackle them. This is very important. Looking at this command and control center, it is complete. You can see that the project is completed. Looking at the massive screen, you can see they have feed from many cameras around the city. So you can assume that it is complete. That's not the same with other projects. Yes, it's an ongoing process. But is that the reason he has to lie or use propaganda to project himself to Enugu people? Why is it necessary to lie or use propaganda on Enugu people? Why is he trying to impress them? The only impression he needs to leave in the minds of Enugu people is to work for them. Once you do the job, they will see it and feel it. You don't need to start lying or start paying influencers to exaggerate the figures or the number of projects you are building. If any project is being built in a local government, definitely many people will see that and feel it. Whether it's completed or not, but they will see that activities are going on here. Like this small school in GTC Enugu is not completed. It's still very far from completion. But why did Mbah include it in the schools that Tinubu commissioned in Enugu State? This is despite saying in an X-Space hosted on 15th December 2024 that out of the 30 smart schools he's building in Enugu State, that only one has been completed. Then, less than 3 weeks to yesterday that the schools were commissioned, he's now claiming that 30 schools were commissioned by Tinubu. How can 29 schools be completed in less than 3 weeks? All these are not necessary. If he truly wants to impress Enugu people, he should make sure or maybe put more pressure on the contractors to finish all the jobs as fast as they can. Yes, you don't need to lie about the projects you're building when people can clearly see that these are 30 of them. This math school at GTC Enugu was photographed by someone who is interested and has invested heavily in education in Enugu State and other parts of Nigeria. So you can see the claim or exaggeration by Mbah is actually counterproductive. If he didn't claim that 30 schools would be commissioned before Tinubu arrived in Enugu State, people wouldn't have gone looking for the schools because these people live in the neighborhood already. They can't see any completed school. But when the government says 30 schools are commissioned, they would like to verify. Like they say, go and verify. So they went out to verify and only saw buildings very far from commissioning. So these are unnecessary. Now to the road projects. This one might be a bit technical. If you resurface a road that was built about 40 years ago, how can you seriously want to commission the road again? A road that was built when maybe Mbah was still in secondary school, and now he resurfaced that road and he's saying that he constructed the road. So like already said, it's technical. Construction, resurfacing, they all mean the same thing. But claiming that he built this road is a bit of a stretch. Bisala Road used to be the best road in Enugu State at the time, in the 80s. People that bought new cars always drive to Bisala Road for a speed test. Yes, around that time it was the only road with less traffic. It still has less traffic today compared to other major roads, Abakaliki Road, Ogui Road, Okpara Avenue and the others. It's only in this road that you can do about 120 kilometers per hour before the road ends, all in Independence Layout, Enugu. So claiming that he built this road is a bit absurd. Another nice project Peter Mbah is building in Enugu is the bus park at Holy Ghost. There's another one in Nsukka. Part of the reason that of Nsukka went viral at the time was because of the demolition of stalls owned by market women. Of course, we have gone that stage. Everyone knows that we must develop, we must build world-class infrastructure, and Nigerian politicians must understand that all the infrastructure they are trying to build today have been built by many other countries, especially in Western countries. Something as basic as a bus park has been built more than 200 years ago in many Western countries. So this brings us to the advantage we have. Most of the developed countries cannot demolish all their infrastructure, all their buildings in order to rebuild them to a modern standard. They can't do that. It will be very expensive for them. So that advantage we have is to build world-class, something that will be better for several years to come that no one can beat, because we can't be last in development and still build something that is not pleasing to the eye. We need to have this in mind, that we must compete with other countries in the tourism industry. Yes, we are a developing country. We need to build a lot of infrastructure before we can start competing in the international space. We need to build better roads. Our streets need to be serene. They need to be clean. There need to be green grasses, trees. Everywhere needs to be clean, like the living room of everyone. The major reason people throw dirt in the street is because it is already looking very unclean. If it is crispy clean, the streets are well paved, the sidewalk, everywhere is shiny clean, many people will think twice before dropping anything or littering the space. Yes, that's how it works. If our streets are not squeaky clean, we can never attract the kind of tourists that will earn us that foreign exchange. So this brings us to the importance of building projects that will stand the test of time. It's very important to build a project that is very beautiful. The exterior needs to be very pleasing to the eyes. Like this bus park in Holy Ghost, we can't judge of course because it's still not yet completed. So it's important to go the extra mile to beautify a building, especially the exterior. It might not cost more than 5% or maybe 10% of the entire cost of the project to beautify it, to have an edifying and standout structure that will attract anyone. If you have a serene environment, your city is very beautiful, people take time to photograph many buildings, look around, spend more time in your cities, your city will definitely attract more people. So every governor or anyone in executive capacity must have this in mind. They need to go that extra mile. You are building a bus park or maybe a hospital or any other infrastructure that has been built more than 200 years ago, and yours is not better looking than the one built 2 centuries ago. It doesn't make any sense. All these governors, all the executive office holders, they all travel abroad. Why don't they bring at least 10% of what they see abroad back home? They need to be doing this. Instead of carrying all that money to go and invest abroad, spend with your family, you're on holiday, bring something back, bring ideas back so that our place can develop. Because you can't be last in development. You can't be the third world and you are trying to join the first world. You have every opportunity to beat them.
Enugu, the start of a new year.
Now to Peter Mbah's failed promises. No one forced him. He made the promise by himself. He promised Enugu people that he will solve the water problem in a few months. But he hasn't achieved that. He still hasn't met the topmost priority of residents. That topmost priority is drinking water. People suffer because of water. Yes, you have to buy water, and some have to fetch the water. Some that can't buy, they don't have a tank to store the water. They are forced to fetch that water in small jerry cans. Our people can't be living this way in a major city like Enugu. The best way to solve problems, especially in governance, is to prioritize them. Take them out one by one, but you have to start with the top priority. Something like drinking water, which Enugu people used to take for granted back in the 80s. Third floor apartments used to have running showers, but today it's become a huge problem. This is the first thing Peter Mbah needs to solve. All the other ones can come later. Maybe that's why he's trying to use propaganda and exaggeration to cover up, to show that he's working. People don't really need this. The money he's spending in propagating all this can be diverted to actually solving these problems. Thanks for watching.